What's going on, people? It's your man, Barney Beautiful. When you see the whiteboard, of course, it's another edition of Each One Teach One. But when you see me in my Fluesy Union Ensemble, you also know that I am representing myself as President Barry, President Local 6969 Fluesy Union. You may be confused what's going on, I'll explain to you right now. In roughly 2 weeks, we are going to have the most important weekend to Fluesies around this great nation. And it is our duty, and my duty as president of Local 6969 Fluesy Union, to give all of my energy and resources and knowledge to helping Fluesies master All-Star Weekend New Orleans 2008 in roughly 2 weeks from now. There's going to be so much money there, and we need to do everything we can to prepare you for it. So everything we're going to do up until All-Star Game Weekend will be dedicated to giving you the information you need to have a successful Fluesy All-Star Game Weekend. It's important. All Fluesies, listen up to me. This is very, very important. We're going to have about 5, 6, 7, 8 different segments. This is just the first one to really just give you the insight and game you need to squeeze all the monies out of All-Star Game Weekend 2008. So the first thing we're going to discuss in our All-Star Game extravaganza is preparation. This is part one, preparation. I always talk about preparation because I think that as a Fluesy, and an important weekend like this one, where there's so much fierce competition, you take care of some of these questions you may have and concerns you may come across at home. That way they don't get involved in you trying to get your monies. So the first part of the preparation, All-Star Weekend, is deciding, can you afford to even go? This is very important. A Fluesy has to know where their monies are today. They can also dream about where they want their money to be in the future. But you have to know where you stand right now, because you need to put yourself on a budget. This is important because you can get down there and start having fun, blow all your money, and don't realize what you're doing. Here are some of the minimum things you need to have in your budget to go to All-Star. You got to take care of your flight or your gas, whether you're flying or driving. You got to get a room, okay? You have to account for your weed or haircut money. It don't matter if you guy or girl, don't matter. And you have to have at least some, maybe you want some new clothes, maybe you got a nice set of clothes. This is questionable. But these are the things that you need to have in your budget before you even decide, can I even go? Once you decide where you stand with all these things, you will come to understand what else you may not be able to afford, and maybe your Fluesy skills will have to make up the difference. Okay, so let's say if all you got is flight, room, weed, haircut, and clothes money. I didn't say food. I didn't say drinks. I didn't say parties. If you have that money, you can put that in your budget. If you do not have that money, at least you will now go to New Orleans knowing that your Fluesy skills will have to get you some food, some drink, and some party money. If you don't do that before you get down there, you can just forget about what you do and don't have and really be jammed up and have not prepared yourself to be successful in New Orleans. That's not what we want. We want to prepare at home by preparing your budget. Here's something else I want to discuss in the budget. How are you getting the funds to supply the budget with a budget? Now, if you have the money and you prepare wise like you should, as all good Fluesies should do, you won't have a problem. But here's some things you cannot do and then go to All-Star Weekend. You cannot take your tax return and get it done early to fund the budget for All-Star. You cannot take your rent money or your mortgage and go down to All-Star Weekend. And you cannot take out a new credit card with a $3,000 whatever on it to fund this. No. If you were a good Fluesy, you knew All-Star was going to be in New Orleans. You should have prepared all in 2007 to have the funds that you needed to have fun. Fellas out there, I know sometimes you don't really understand where your money went. Maybe this is the first year you decided to buy all 7 of your kids Christmas gifts. And so your budget is a little thin, I understand that. But that means you can't go to All-Star. You need to just make sure your money is right. So maybe 2009, because there will be an All-Star every year, you can get ready to get your monies next year. You got to get your budget on. You got to know what you are working with. The second part in terms of preparation is who you are going with. Are you going with? This is very, very important because the people you go with can decide how successful or unsuccessful you are. The first thing you got to do is find out if they have the budget. Because this is what happens a lot of times. Let's say you have prepared like a good Fluesy should. You have ample money to blow and have fun, maybe come across some monies, whatever. But the person you're going with doesn't have the budget to have the fun you would want. Now some people can go into that and say, I can't do everything you can do, but I ain't trying to stop. Other people will try to hold you up. They say they don't want to go to all the parties. They don't want to get nice dinner. And they mad and sad, want to hold you back. If this is the type of person you're going to go with, you have to understand that they don't have the budget and maybe you shouldn't go with them. The next thing you want to do is decide what category the people you are potentially going with are going to be in. There's only 4 types of people that are going to New Orleans for All-Star Weekend. There are rappers. It represents all the idiots, men that'll be there. There are harlots, representing all the idiotic women. There are spectators. Those who are just there, they have sense, but they are just there to watch the interaction of the rappers and the harlots and be entertained by it, which is fine. And of course, there are Fluesy, who are just the most perfect people on the face of the earth. You really want to be your president. Now, if you are a spectator or Fluesy, and the actions of the people that you're going with are more like harlots or rappers, you may be offended by the things you do and they might ruin your experience. Let's say, girls, you're going out there and you know your girlfriend's a harlot. She's fast, she's loose. If she's a harlot and that's really going to bother you, while her bringing all this stuff together with you and really causing you issues and y'all been places before, and her loose ways to cause problems, you can't go with her. Fellas, if you know your dude ain't tough, but all of a sudden you get that liquor in him and you want to act tough and get into a fight, and y'all flew down here from freaking Detroit, and y'all don't know nobody, y'all want to fight some cats from Shreveport who drove over here with pistols in their car, hey, you got to let him go stay home. Okay? You have to understand every category that your people are in. Put yourself in the category you are in and realize whether you want to be with them and they ain't gonna mess up what you trying to accomplish while you were down. And here's a few more things to ask yourself about these people. Are they haters? You know, will they be upset if you get attention and they don't? Do they crave attention? Are they all in a tizzy if somebody talks to you and buys you a drink but nobody buys them a drink and they want to ruin the night for y'all somber in the quarter? You have to take that into account. Will they just cause drama? From home especially. Home drama is the worst because I am here to get some money. And I don't need whatever problems you had at home to bother me while I am here on a mission. I am a Fluesy. There is monies to be gotten and I need to get to the monies. Ask these things about these people because they will harm you if you are not aware of their strengths and their weaknesses. Because baby, we about that cash.